Alright guys, welcome back again. Most of you have been asking me about other strategies. So today I'm going to show you DCA settings. This is one of the best strategies in uTrading that I'm showing you. But it is seasonal, not every season. Follow this carefully. And also, if you are new, because I'm going to explain how you can earn from this strategy. So follow with me carefully and understand the settings. So this is our main dashboard of the robot. So how are you going to set your DCA trades? So right here, you're going to click on trades, click on manual. So once you're choosing DCA, you can choose this. It is okay, but I personally prefer this other DCA, the manual settings. Okay, these are the manual settings. Now one would say, why is it manual and yet it is a robot that is AI? So here we call it manual just because you've been given a chance to do what? You've been given a chance to do all the settings. That's why it is manual, but it is a robot. Of course, you just make settings once and you allow the robot to do other things. So these are the settings, of course. But this is crypto and I'm teaching you crypto. So these are the things you need to consider. Once you're in DCA, you need to know which direction you should follow. There is a long, short, auto hedging, and indicator direction. So if you want auto hedging, if you don't know where the market is going, you can use auto hedging. But instead of using this auto hedging, I prefer that you use martingale. Even indicator direction, I prefer that you use martingale. Okay, now because people wanted this, I have to give you all this. First, pick your coin. So here, let me pick any coin because I'm not going to place a trade. Did I pick that? Doge? Yeah, I've picked Doge. So if Doge is going down, you need to know where the market is going. Okay, if the market is bearish for Doge, I am going to click short. So once I click short, then I must choose the leverage. You can choose the highest leverage, but with the DCA, after doing a careful review, I prefer then 50. Why 50? 50 allows me to easily calculate the coins that are how much I'm going to trade. So right here, you are free to choose from either single or cycle. If you know that the market is going to take long, please follow this carefully. If you know that the market is going to take long in one direction, and then you can click cycle and then stop it after some time. But if you know that the market is very volatile, then you are going to click single. What is the difference between this? The difference is once you click cycle, it doesn't tire you or you don't get tired. Okay, and once you click single, remember every time the robot pays out, you are supposed to set again. But with the cycle, you can stop the trades whenever you want. As simple as that. So now that you've said that, most people ask this, why don't you talk about smart covering and double opening? Most of the people out there don't have capital. Once you click on double opening, the robot will automatically pick 2 trades within the same coin. Let's say I had set a trade to trade with $5. Instead, it will trade with $10. If I click smart covering, let me first go down and discuss smart add position once I get here. So if you come to max orders, I prefer that if you have less capital, in fact, I prefer one max order. Why one max order? Once the trade go against you, the trade will not add more floating loss. Now, if you put one max order, there is no need to activate smart add position. Once you activate the two, like if you activate this, you are contradicting, because here at one max order, you have asked the robot to only trade once, not to put another trade. But once you activate this, you are again telling the robot to add positions. So here you'll be contradicting the statement. If you're using more than one max order right here, then you can then activate this to allow the robot to add positions automatically. I explained already about this, the advantage and the disadvantage of max orders and smart covering. You have already known that if you use one max order and not activating the smart add position, your floating loss will not increase rapidly. If you activate the two, the floating loss will increase rapidly. But don't think in the negative way, like I've said. One, you should know that if you have enough capital, you are free to do so. And the advantage is that, let's say if the floating loss increases rapidly because the trades are going against you, if you're very smart enough to know that the market is going towards your direction after consolidation, that means the robot now will come back with that maximum force that you enabled it. So let's say if it was supposed to be paying you $5 every trade, this time it can even pay you up to $15 in every single payment. That is the advantage. But still, don't get excited. If you have small capital, don't go for this. Most people ask me, what is a small capital? The small capital is when you choose, let's say we have chosen the maximum leverage. Here we have chosen 5 leverage, and we have not activated the initial position. Let's say you have used the initial position which is more than 25%. That means you are risking your account. I am going to show you that and will still explain this. So people would ask, what about these other features? The multiple size, price gap, take profit. Most of the leaders want you to set this, but I prefer that you don't, except if you know what you're doing. The only thing I can tell you is maybe to adjust this if you feel it is a cycle. Once it is on cycle, then it is free to adjust this, or even single, it is okay. You can increase or decrease. But what is the advantage and the disadvantage? Once you increase it from more than 1.5%, the robot will take long to pay you, that is one, but then the profits will be more than what you expect. Let's say the DCA payment will be long. Maybe if the robot was supposed to pay 10, it will now pay you like 5 in a single payment. But then why do that? Instead of doing all these settings, just click cycle if in case you want to adjust the take profit. I'm just here in case you're confused. I am talking about this. Instead of you adjusting this, it is even better for you to click cycle. Say that the robot pays you and pay again. Okay, so that is that. Now that I have explained this, most people are going to ask me about floating stop loss. If you are a trader, you already know that stop loss is good if you set it, and take profit is good. This works as take profit, but this is not the actual take profit. Okay, this is a DCA, the dollar cost average, the average at which the coin is supposed to pay you after every interval. Okay, but then the real take profit is right here. The real take profit is right here when you click on optional here, and you'll get the take profit right here. You can either use percentage or use the amount. I prefer that you use the amount in case you are to set that. But why do you set take profit? Instead, if you want to set your take profit, this cycle will still do that. Give it more than one cycle if you want to adjust the take profit, but that is already set. That's why this is a robot and it is artificial intelligence, AI, because it does the work for you. Maybe right here on the stop loss you can use the ratio amount, but I prefer amount. You can use the unrealized PNL, the amount of floating loss, you get that? And then right here you can set the amount as you want. But remember, almost once you set this, most of the time you can lose trades, okay? But if you know what you're doing, then you can set that. Of course, you as an individual, I don't have to tell you everything. You need to know, you need to say, I don't want my robot to take this amount of money. But me, I prefer that you should set this like when it comes to the worst. But so long as the robot is making you money, you don't have to set this. Most of the whales know our stop losses, so the robot will always hit there and turn back towards your direction, and at the end of the day you don't make it. What I can advise you is that once you set a trade and you're comfortable, if you realize some profits, instead of you comparing your floating loss and the profits you've made, if the profits are many, better close it, other than you setting a stop loss. Stop loss saves your account, but you might make losses every day, and because the robot will keep clicking on a stop loss and you lose that small money that you think you've saved. Remember, all the money in your trading account, you want it to make money, and today you'll close in a loss. Again, tomorrow you set a trade, again you close in a loss. At the end of the day, you will not be making money. Only do this if you know what you're doing. Now that I've explained, let us set our trade. So back. So I have to, what's this? What did I click? Okay, now right here, first step, click on that and select a coin like I did before. Secondly, choose which trade you want. Better know the direction. If you don't know the direction, I prefer that you pick this. And once you pick this, first of all, with this trade, you need to know which coin you are trading and the direction of the market. In case you don't know that, just pick any coin and then click either auto hedging or auto direction and then follow along. So now for us to know where the market is going, I've clicked short, and then the leverage, of course, before you do anything, you click right here and choose the leverage. You selected 50, and then I don't want this trade to go that far, so I'm going to leave it at cycle. Okay, so it is on cycle. I'm going to reduce the max orders to 1 because I don't want much floating loss, and I am not going to activate double opening and smart add position. So now that I have set all this, I am now going to set our initial position. How do you set the initial position? Now this determines how much you want to make the trade to pay you. If I want my trade to pay me $5 every payment, then I have to multiply this leverage by 5, say that the robot picks $5. Okay, so if I multiply that by 5, that is 20, that's 250, and I will want 250 right here. I repeat, if I want to trade with $5 right here, that means the dollar cost average is going to be $5. That means the robot will be paying me $5. So right here, I am going to click that and multiply. I'm going to multiply this 50x times 5 to make 250, and the 250 is supposed to reflect right here. Okay, and account. So this is what we're going to do. To adjust that, it is very simple. I'm going to show you two strategies. One strategy is that you're going to just drag this, okay? If you drag this, it will work. If this does not work, like you can see, I want 250, it has already gone to 900. So that means it is going to disturb us. If you find that that coin is disturbing you, you better come right here and try to adjust by adding 0 to make more than what is there. Like this is 86. If I add 0, it becomes 860. But the 860 does not actually give us 250. So we are going to increase. 1000 is giving us that. We're going to put 112. I see it is giving us 213. And then you add. Now that 13 gives us 2. So that means if you add 130, it's giving us 25. If we had 1300, it is giving us 254. That is close to what we want. Now, after getting all this, then you are going to launch your trade. So if you click launch, let me even launch this trade, but it is on short. I'm not sure if that coin is going to short. That's why I told you need to know which direction you're going to. And then right here, you click launch and allow your robot to perform. Now, setting this, you want the trade to pay you $5 per what? Per single payment. So instead of setting your stop loss, adjusting your take profit as other leaders tell you, this is just enough. And just launch your trade. As simple as that. Knowledge is power. If you loved the video, don't leave without leaving a comment. Hit the like. Bye bye.